And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. A bit of breaking news for you this evening, and it's back to the arson attack, of course, on Keir Starmer's house and property, of course. I think 2 weeks ago now, it first emerged, or maybe just over 2 weeks ago, that, of course, Keir Starmer's house was subject to a arson attack. Of course, not 10 Downing Street, but a property that he owns in North London. And following that, of course, the days after that, we started to find out a little bit more news with regard to it. And actually, there had been a series of arson attacks linked to Keir Starmer. In the days that followed, of course, there was a swift arrest made. One of the most notable ones was, of course, the Ukrainian international, that, of course, being Roman Lavornik. And then after that, there was another 2 people that were then arrested. However, there is another twist to this tale, as a 4th has been arrested. Yes, that's just been confirmed over the last half an hour or so. So we'll break that down, go through some of the theories that have been going on, but it has been fairly quiet with regard to updates on this one. And the internet has, of course, ran away with different theories. Russia, of course, did a week ago, I think, did deny any involvement in said attacks. The Kremlin came out and said that publicly. But this is the latest installment of it. But for me, I just still feel that there's a lot of things that don't necessarily add up. But let's go through the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. But as always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Get involved in the live chat. We'll be taking your thoughts and reaction to this a little bit later on. So as stated, a 4th man has been arrested in an arson probe into a series of fires at properties linked to Keir Starmer. The suspect, 48, was detained on Monday at London Stansted Airport. He was initially stopped by officers under Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000 before being arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to commit arson with intent to endanger life, Scotland Yard has said. He has now been taken to police custody in London, where he remains in custody, the force have also added. The 48-year-old's arrest follows the charges, of course, of 3 other men in the police probe: Roman Lavornik, Stanislav Kapovic, and Petro Pochinovic. Sorry for my absolutely horrific pronunciation of Slavic surnames. They were all handed charges by the Crown Prosecution Service relating to the fires. Lavornik was charged with 3 counts of arson with intent to endanger life, while the second was also arrested at a London airport, this time at Luton, and Pochinovic were both charged with conspiracy to commit arson with intent to endanger life. The trio will appear at London's Old Bailey this Friday on June 6th. So that's the update we have now, is that a 4th person has been arrested. That's been announced by Scotland Yard and, of course, the police over the last half an hour or so. But still, there are so many questions in this sort of saga, if you want to call it that. Of course, people running down the lane of the whole rent boy situation. And yeah, I quite like entertaining said theories. However, I'll be watching this very, very closely over the next couple of weeks. But this is just the latest development, the latest update. And that comes, 4 weeks later, I suppose now? No, 2 weeks later, I suppose. It's been very, very quiet. I think the last update we provided to you was about 2 weeks ago, maybe 13 days ago. But yeah, another has been arrested. A 4th has been arrested. Yeah, another twist in this tale. Let's get a bit of reaction from the live chat from this development, guys. And I just want to say, I am back with live streams. I've said that about 1,000 times, haven't I? Well, I came into a bit of a problem. I was on the road recently, and essentially the place that I was staying at, the Wi-Fi was so dodgy that I couldn't do live streams, so I just had to do videos. But I'm back in the normal residence, as you can see, and we'll be back with live streams as much as we possibly can when it comes to this channel and breaking news and all of these kind of things. So if you haven't already, guys, do subscribe. But let's get into it. I do like to read people's theories. I went down a little rabbit hole, of course, on this whole situation with the rent boy situation as well, and I was thoroughly entertained. Not in that way, but of course with the links to Keir Starmer. But yeah, I do think there's more to see from this, which will maybe may come out or may not come out over the next couple of weeks. Deb says, congrats on surpassing 200,000 subscribers. Yes, guys, thank you so much for your help as well on doing that. That's absolutely fantastic. A lot of people to thank as well, but thank you so much for everybody that tunes in. I try my best, and we'll be back with more reputable stuff. We'll be bringing more breaking news over the summer. As I said, I'm back live streaming daily now. I just had that technical issue with the Wi-Fi, but we're back to business. But let's get on to this as well. I love the comments as well, to be fair, when we discuss the arson attacks on Keir Starmer. Arson. Yeah. Dream Chaser says it's not a coincidence that these rent boys attacked Starmer's property. And you can't really pass judgment on it just yet, but there does seem something really, really fishy. And I'm no conspiracy theorist, by the way. I'm no conspiracy theorist. I'm just passing judgment. You know, I'm not saying anything is true or not something's not true. Again, an investigation is ongoing with regard to the arson attacks, but no one said that you can't speculate on who these people are and why these individuals wanted to attack Keir Starmer's house. But again, we won't ever probably know, but let's just say some of the rabbit holes that I went down over the last couple of weeks have been fairly interesting with regard to Keir Starmer. Great point, browser head teacher. There have been many scandals in Starmer's regime and none have gotten him out. Exactly, and to be fair, you probably don't know the full scale of the things. Well, he never really still takes responsibility on when things like this come out anyway. So we'll probably never know the full truth. I mean, after Southport, the situation that happened after Southport was probably enough to get him out of the door. And what he did in playing in that part, the hush-hush. But again, weeks go on and the scandal just disappears. And people don't forget, of course, but again, people stop holding him accountable. And you start to not really hear any questions being asked about Southport anymore. And it's almost like he just got away with it. Craziness. I remember Nigel Farage said that he was going to be holding him to account for that. But again, nothing really came of it, did it? It's been very quiet since then. Good theory. They've scapegoated a 48-year-old man to make it look like he's into older men. Justice Please says, I don't believe this fake BS. He's pretending people are attacking him. He's got victim's mentality. I'll let you read this one. I won't read it out loud. It's quite funny though. I wonder what's the link between those arrested, who is bankrolling them. Well, again, there was a theory. I mean, the Kremlin had to come out. I think it was earlier, maybe last week. But again, Russia's always blamed for stuff, which is fairly unfair to see in the British media. But they were, I think, asked if they had any responsibility in said arson attacks at Keir Starmer's house, and said, obviously, that was not the case. And they came out publicly and stated that wasn't the case. Russia always getting blamed. Russia always getting blamed. Yeah, sorry, by the way, I am not on any funny stuff, by the way. I've got a cold, so sorry for the sniffing. Apologies. We want Starmer out. But guys, yeah, just a short one just to break the news. I'm not going to rip the arse out of it. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on this whole arson attack saga down there in the comment section below. Let me know your theories and what's going on at this moment in time with it. But for those of you just tuning in, breaking news, fourth man has been arrested. And again, we'll have to wait and see what comes of this. But a 48-year-old man has now also been arrested, that meaning the fourth person in this whole ordeal has been arrested. That was announced by Scotland Yard around half an hour ago. So pretty much breaking news. But guys, thank you for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We've got a few more videos lined up for you for the rest of the day. And we're back with daily live streams. Not a set time, but just be aware that they will go on. So if you haven't hit the notification bell, then please do. We'll try and keep you on the straight and narrow this summer. But thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.